games, I'm never done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure heavy, weigh a ton.
Ruben, you're a legend. You're a legend, Ruben. Ruben's taken up a new profession, guys. Taken up a new profession. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Are we on live? Yeah, we are. We are. For a moment, I thought we're not live, but anyway, we're live. Hope you enjoyed that rendition. Hope you enjoyed the protest video. I mean, look, that just sums up what's going on at United. Sums it up to absolute a degree where you just look at and think that's exactly what everyone should be saying and believing. The power lies with the owners. The problems lie with the owners. And they are a complete joke. It's a complete circus right now running at Man United. And, well, we're to blame. The fan base are to blame as well. I said it earlier on in my early show, which was, look, we've got to accept the fans switch off. The moment we get distracted, the moment we have something else to talk about, we drop the ball when it comes to the ownership and what they're doing, and we ignore it. We ignore it. Ruben Amorim got sacked Monday morning. He wasn't to blame for what has been going on at the club for years. And we're just using him as a scapegoat. Yes, of course, his win rate was awful. His tactics were awful. He wasn't doing well as a Man United manager. We can accept that. But we cannot lie the blame at his feet when we know the owners have not been backing him and did not back him. And the new manager, whoever it is who's coming in, the interim manager, he's not going to get any backing either. He's not going to get any backing. And that's why we're right now currently in a process where INEOS are looking to divide and conquer. They're dividing and going to conquer the new managers coming in. They didn't want Solskjaer and Carrick to have a joint role. They definitely don't want to have Fletcher, Carrick and Solskjaer, all three appointed as some type of a trilogy, a triple management structure. No, they don't. They don't want an interim management where they have to deal with all these three because they know then they might be too powerful. They might take on the ownership. They might take on INEOS and their puppets called Barada and Wilcox. That's what the problem is. And in today's show, we're going to talk about, number one, why it's taking so long to appoint a bloody interim manager. It's quite easy. It should be quite simple. You just go and appoint somebody who is going to take over. It's quite easy. If it's going to be a short-term interim thing, you might as well give the job to whoever is the right man right now. If you think it's Solskjaer, give it to him. If you think it's Carrick, give it to him. If they want to work together, allow them to work together. Why is it all this hush-hush, and why are we all talking about, it's going to be maybe a short-term, maybe a long-term? They don't have a plan. They've never had a plan from day one. They got rid of Ruben Amorim in an absolute kamikaze way. They didn't know what they were doing. They thought, right, do you know what? We need to get rid of Ruben Amorim before he opens his mouth up again. He's got another press conference this other day. Boom, boom. Okay, let's just get rid of him. Let's get rid of him because he's going to say something that's going to go against us and might open a can of worms, and everybody out there might actually realise what Man United is really like. What we're running like, what we're running the club like. That's what they were afraid of, hence why they got rid of him. They got rid of him because they knew this is not going to work out for them. They didn't care about his win rate. They didn't care about what he was doing. They didn't care about anything else. All they cared about was, of course, themselves. And that video I played sums it up brilliantly, what is going on at United. Now, look, the problem we've got now is we're still waiting. We're still hanging around, trying to work out what's going to happen. Obviously, we've got Sunday's game against Brighton in the FA Cup. Fletcher, we've had his presser. He's come, said what you had to say. And yeah, look, that's going to go ahead as planned. We know Fletcher was going to take charge of that game. But then what about next game? I mean, for me, I would have liked I would have liked at least an interim manager being around the club right now. Yes, Fletcher obviously can take charge of Sunday's game, but I would still like a manager to have come in right now and got used to the players, speak to the players, take some training sessions, work with Fletcher, see what's going on. It doesn't make any sense to me, because if they're going to appoint Carrick or Solskjaer, you might as well simply go and appoint Fletcher and get on with it. Get on with the bloody job. Unless what they're doing is biding time so they can go and appoint a manager of their choice right now. Not an interim manager, but I've not heard that. I've not heard that they're going to appoint an interim manager. What I've heard is that they are looking to appoint an interim manager from the names that we've already mentioned. It's either Fletcher, it's either Carrick, or either Ollie. Why would they be splitting all these guys up and saying, look, you can't work together? There's only one conclusion that you'll reach. It's because they don't want it to be too strong of a partnership. They don't want Carrick and Solskjaer to be working together, because they know that they're going to override anything that they want to implement. So Wilcox is too clever. INEOS are too clever. They know, right, if we have Carrick and Solskjaer together, they will hold their own. And they don't want that. They want a yes man. They want someone to come in who just wants to, who they want to just simply say, right, you're doing this, you're playing this formation, you're doing that, that's what you're doing. And that's what they want. They don't want, I don't think I personally, now having looked at the reports coming out, I feel like if they were going to appoint Solskjaer, they would have done it already, because he was the most obvious choice. And the first rumours, when they came out, they were like Solskjaer. And now we're hearing that they've not agreed with Solskjaer anything. Solskjaer is in fact going to have a meeting with them tomorrow. Carrick apparently already has had a meeting with them today. So now they were going to wait on Solskjaer, see what he proposes, see what he can do for the club, and then they're going to go from there. If I was a betting man now, I'd probably say that they might either give it to Fletcher and say, look, we've interviewed and we're just going to stick with Fletcher, especially if he has a decent performance against Brighton, or I think it's going to be Carrick. I don't think they're going to go with Ollie. I think there's been a backlash, somewhat backlash from certain quarters of seeing Ollie back in again. Obviously, the one that they listen to is Gary Neville, apparently. Apparently, Wilcox has got a notification on for Gary Neville. Every time Gary Neville jumps on and says something, Wilcox takes notice of it, apparently. So Gary Neville's come out and said he's not happy with Solskjaer. So they probably heard that and probably thought, right, okay, Solskjaer's gone then. Okay, next it's either Carrick or Fletcher. But for me, I think this shows the complete lack of organisation from the owners, the complete lack of planning. Right now, we are in the middle of a transfer window. We're hearing news of Man City signing players, as Tottenham looking at signing new players. Everyone's looking to bring in players, even Liverpool. Yet United have completely messed things up by getting rid of their manager and not having a plan to bring in another manager. Why not, man? Why not? Why would you not have a plan? And there's lots of talk about all these other names now being mentioned. I just can't see that happening. I really can't. Let me actually bring up some news for you right now. So here's what we've just got not long ago. So Ollie Solskjaer is set to hold face-to-face talks with Manchester United on Saturday. Michael Carrick has already met with Omar Browder and Jason Wilcox. I just think it's just a ploy. I just think this is a ploy. I think they're doing this just to have people just want people and fans to think that they organised and they're doing stuff. They're bullshit. It's bullshit. This is just a smokescreen. They've already made the decision. They already know who they want. They already know what they want. They're just playing the fans here. They just want the fans to think that, right, yeah, we're actually deciding. We're deciding what we're going to do, and we're going to take our time. We're professional. We know what we're doing. Bullshit. Do they know what they're doing? They don't know. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. It's looking increasingly unlikely that Ollie Solskjaer and Michael Carrick will be asked to work together in an interim role at Manchester United for the rest of the season. It seems that United bosses consider both as natural number ones. Bullshit. Can you smell that bullshit? Because I can. I can smell it. I swear. This is all a absolute ploy. This is a ploy to let us know that, oh yeah, we consider both of these team, like, we heard straight away that Solskjaer and Carrick wouldn't mind working together. They wouldn't mind working together. So it'd be natural to say, right, okay, come in, let's get things cracking, let's get moving. Or just give it to bloody Fletcher. No one's going to say, oh, why have you given the interim job to Fletcher? Unless INEOS are planning to keep these guys on after the season ends. That's what I think anyway. I think INEOS are going to take this opportunity and they're secretly going to hope that whoever comes in as interim manager, number one, is going to cost them pennies. We've heard Solskjaer is going to work for free. And if that is the case, they're going to want Solskjaer to basically take over and carry on if we qualify for Champions League. And if we don't, then they're going to say, right, okay, you know, Solskjaer's out. We always knew we were going to qualify. Solskjaer's not good enough. We'll bring in somebody else. And they might get Maresca. They might get Tuchel. The names are flying around as to who they're going to go for. No one can actually confidently predict what's going to happen with the managerial position, who they're going to actually go for. I just think they're not going to take on a strong personality. If they wanted to do that, they could have gone for Maresca immediately. He's available. He's there, waiting. He would have taken the job. It wouldn't have been a hard thing to do, right? They would have quickly got on the phone to his agent, and it would have been done like that. But they've not been able to do that because they don't want that kind of personality. They don't want a strong personality. They want someone who's just going to nod along to whatever they tell him. That's what they found with Ruben Amorim, the most difficult part. They were happy with everything else that he was doing. No matter how much the fans were complaining, they were happy with everything else. The thing that they weren't happy with is the fact that he was questioning them and their funding and their planning for bringing in players and sorting this team out. He was unhappy with that. Let me go to the comments quickly. Niche, welcome to the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well. Zero signings, absolutely insane. Yeah, this is it, man. This is it. I said to you immediately, the Monday morning, I said to you, this is crazy. This is crazy because what they're doing here is they're distracting. This is distraction at its best. INEOS are very good at this. Glazers were good, but these guys are exceptional at completely distracting the fan base. But the fan base this time, I feel like they've caught wind of this. They know exactly what's going on. They've had it done too many times to ourselves. We know. We've seen this before. We've seen this story play out before, and this time we're a lot wiser. So we know, wait up, this has happened many times. Okay? We've had managers come and go, and we get distracted. We get distracted with all the hoo-ha about bringing in a new manager and how things are going to change and things are going to improve. And we're going through this 2-year cycle. Every so often, manager comes in. We get told we're going to do well. He gets a little bit of funding, but they never actually back him 100%. And then the manager clearly fails and we go again. They sack him, we go again. That's exactly what's happening right now. I can see it happening just now. Just appoint Fletcher. It doesn't make a difference. Wilcox is the manager. Spot on. Exactly, Niche. That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing all this news coming out about this, that, or Ollie, or Carrick, or this meeting, that meeting. And I'm thinking, bullshit, man. Stop giving us this bullshit. This is gaslighting us. You've done it too much now. We know how it works. We know how you work. We know how you release a few press releases here and there. You give a bit of information to this journalist and that journalist and tell them to give you some positive feedback. That's what we have. That's what we get with INEOS. We get this bullshit news feed about how they actually know what they're doing, and it's all serious, and they're all meeting with Brad and Wilcox, and it's all being discussed like Brad and Wilcox know exactly what they're doing. We've seen their bloody faces at the Burnley game. They don't have a bloody clue. They sat there like two bloody ducks in a row waiting. And they know, it was written all over their faces, they were guilty, mate. They're guilty. They're guilty of crimes against Man United. I swear. Wilcox is now looking for a number 2. That's what he's doing. Wilcox is looking for a forward-facing assistant who's going to go out there, do the press conferences, pretend to be the manager of Man United. But behind closed doors, Wilcox is going to be running everything. It was really telling when Ruben Amorim was asked the question of the players leaving, and he said, I don't know, they're going to have to speak to Jason. And that just told you everything. He was making the call on who's coming and who's going. So if he's doing that, then what's the point of having Ruben Amorim there? And yeah, clearly, Ruben, they always sack the weakest person. And Ruben Amorim, the manager, whoever it is, that's why they're now looking for another weak manager. They're looking for actually a weaker manager. They want someone who's not going to come out and do that. I hate this model. You need a proper manager and his coaching staff. Wilcox's job shouldn't even exist. Well, look, that's what's actually going around right now. What's going around the social media circles is that why is Wilcox still in the job when everything he's done has failed? Everything he's done in recent weeks, months, has not come good. And you can't blame just one person. You've got to blame the party. It's like the whole. There's a number of people all working on one project. Yet you pick out one person from that project and you say, right, that person is the one to blame, and everybody else keeps their jobs. Everybody else stays there, and it doesn't make sense to me. They were all in it together. They all were working together. So they all should be sacked. It's not fair. I know that sounds weird, but it isn't. It's not fair to sack one, and it's just weird. How can he sack one person of a team that have collectively messed up things? What about Wilcox? Oh, right, okay, do you know what? He messed up things. Brada messed up things, but guess what? We'll give them the job to find the new manager. I mean, make sense of that. Make sense of that. It does not make any sense. It's almost like you're giving Wilcox a reward for cocking up. He's the one who's said, right, okay, he's kicked off with Ruben Amorim. He's the one who's then, it's led to Ruben Amorim sacking, his conflict with Ruben Amorim, and, well, he's been rewarded. He's been rewarded by clearly saying, right, okay, you can go and pick out the new manager for Man United, the interim manager at least, and then you can go on a finding mission to find the new full-time manager, whoever that might be. Which, again, I've told you many times, we're being lied to here. We're being lied to. We're being lied to because we're being told that they're going to go out there and bring in someone like Tuchel, someone like Enrique. Well, actually, they've not mentioned Enrique, but, they're mentioning all these big names that they want to bring to Man United. Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's another one, right? Eddie Howe's not going to come to Man United. He's not, man. Stop it. Stop that shit. Tuchel's not going to... Why would these managers come to United knowing full well they're not going to have a say in anything? They're going to be superficial managers. They're not going to be able to do anything. So why? Why would they? I mean, I wouldn't take a job if I know, look, I'm not going to have any say in it and I might get the sack if anything goes wrong. It does not make any sense to me. Jim, welcome to the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well tonight. Like always, Friday night is a chilled out night. We just kind of jump on with this stream and, catch up with the week's goings on and look forward to the weekend's games. We saw Liverpool-Arsenal last night, actually. That was an interesting game, 0-0. Look, yeah, completely agree. All should go. Yeah, if one goes, all should go. It doesn't make any sense unless they're just scapegoating him, which they are. Even in all, what a chaotic week, Rob. Yeah, it's been crazy, hasn't it, Rob? I mean, it's been absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, I was just sat there earlier just trying to kind of get my head around what's gone on and what difference a week's made, right? I mean, it feels like a long distant memory that we had Ruben Amorim as our manager. It really does. To me, it does anyway. I don't know about you guys. But I'm like, whoa, Ruben Amorim was once the United manager. Right? I mean, it literally just got the sack on Monday. But it feels like so much has happened since then that, yeah, I mean, it's just chaos. And now I think things would have settled down if they immediately said, look, Fletcher's the interim manager and that's it. We'll make a decision at the end of the season. But having kind of open the can of worms themselves, now they're trying to put it all back in again. you know, the whole Ollie might be the next manager. Okay, Carrick as well. We'll discuss it with both of them. We'll see what they do. I think they're just waiting. They're waiting to everything to calm down, and I think they still might say, "Oh, we'll give it to Fletcher." I really do. I think they're just doing this to show the wider fan base and the media that they actually got some kind of process going on. But that's bullshit. There is no process. These guys don't know how to wipe their asses. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. But they're imposters. They're pretenders. They're pretending that they know what they're doing at this club. But they do not know what they're doing. But what they are doing, what they are good at, is covering up the tracks of the owners. That's what they're good at. They're really good at covering up shit like that. So the biggest question I've got is, why are we not in the transfer market? Allow Ruben Amorim, allow everything else. Even if, okay, Ruben Amorim was not the right man for the job, whatever it was, whatever reason you're giving or you believe that you sacked him for. We all know what you sacked him for, but you can justify it for other reasons, right? But what's your plan for the January transfer window? Why's that gone out the window with the manager? Why? You didn't have a plan? You did have a plan? There were players that you were going to sign? What happened to Gallagher? What happened to Neves? What happened to all these midfielders that we were looking at? I mean, we are still in need of a midfielder. That's the first thing that any manager would request as soon as they come in. They'd look at this team and say, right, okay, you know what? We haven't got legs in the midfield. We can play whatever formation we like. We're still going to be in trouble. We're still going to be weak because we haven't got the players in the midfield. We haven't. So whatever formation you'd like to play, we still need two very good centre mid players in any type of formation. And we haven't got them in Casemiro and Ugarte. Manu really doesn't play that role. He is, like we all know, he's a more forward-thinking player, midfielder. He's not a defensive midfielder. We need two very good midfielders who can defend and control play. And Casemiro and Ugarte are totally useless at that. Totally useless. I mean, watching them against Burnley, I realised this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Jim, I reckon they don't care about the 1958 anymore. INEOS are worse than the Glazers. 100%. 100%. INEOS don't give a flying F about the 1958 protest. They don't care about the fans. They just feel like we're just all full of it. We're all full of it and we don't know anything. That's what we are. We're dumb. We're common folk. That's what we are. We are common folk who don't know what we're talking about. We do our daily jobs and do our daily things, but we don't have a bloody clue because, the billionaires know what they're doing. The billionaires are superhuman. They've got bigger brains than most normal humans out there. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, they're superhuman. They're the chosen ones. They're the people with big brains and they know exactly how to run things. And fans, bloody hell, fans don't know jack shit. They're just good to pay the money and come in and watch United. No matter what they do, no matter how bad they perform, we should cheer them, clap and walk home, having spent our good money and have rain falling on our heads whilst we're there. The privilege of being at Old Trafford, right? And then we can go around the backs at half time and have the shittest service ever. No food, crappy drinks. And then you come back out again to watch another half. That's what it is. They're asking us to pay good money to watch this shit. They're asking us to pay good money to attend this kind of atmosphere. But they know fans will still do it. I mean, we were discussing it earlier today about how the protest should be, it would be better if they cleared out the stadium rather than doing some kind of protest outside. It doesn't really work. It doesn't disrupt anything. It doesn't do anything. They don't really care. The media don't concentrate on it. Nobody really cares until it's made global news. And look, just look back at when the Glazers were under serious pressure. How did that happen? I think it was when the Liverpool game got cancelled. There was a few other things going on that really disrupted everything. And they were like, oh my God, this is now making news. This is making headlines. And that was the first time in the history of Man United since the Glazers that the protests actually made headline news. Other than that, yeah, the media just are almost in the pocket of the Glazers and INEOS. That's even more so now. Even more so. That's why I agree with you, Nish, that INEOS are even worse because, you see, INEOS know how the English media operate. They know how to buy them off. They know how to approach them. They know which journalists to go to leak stories, to give them a few favours here and there. And look, let's be honest. If you get access, like unrestricted access to Man United, journalists will put out positive PR spin news on INEOS. They will do it. They will do it as long as they keep on getting the access. We see it with Rio Ferdinand and others. You know, if you get that access, you will do favourable news towards the owners. At least you will not call them out. And that's the same thing we're seeing with Sky News, Gary Neville and all the likes. They're not calling out INEOS for anything. They're not saying, oh, look, this has been a failure on part of INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe and their structure that they've put into place. They don't say a word. They don't say a word. All they say is, oh, yeah, we need a new manager. Yeah, manager. They don't call out the fact that the players are shit. They don't call out the fact that we're not spending money on bringing in new players, that the squad needs to be revamped. We all know it does. But we cannot bring ourselves to say that. But I'm glad that 1958 have taken this opportunity to bring it back to the forefront, and fans on both sides of the arena. So you've got the Amrins in and the Amrins out. Obviously, both agree that something needs to change in the ownership. Rob says Amrin's results were poor even against lower opposition, but his bombshell comments caught the board with their pants down. Spot on. Exactly. That's what's happened. I'm glad that this community on our channel knows when we smell something is off, right? Because there are, unfortunately, lots of fans who still believe that INEOS have done a good job. And there's a good reason for why they got rid of Amrin, and it was because of his poor win rate and his success with the three at the back. Bullshit. It wasn't anything to do with that. It wasn't. Because if they were unhappy with the results, they would have got rid of him in October. They would have got rid of him a lot earlier than now. But they didn't. Or they would have just stuck with him. If they'd stuck with him this long, they would have said, right, okay, no, we've made our mind up, we're not going to change it, and that's it. But they didn't. They only came for him when it all went wrong, when it came to his own. Yeah, Mbeumo is back, by the way, guys. Yeah, that's breaking news today. Mbeumo is coming back. Yes, he's coming back to Old Trafford. And Mbeumo is back. Breaking Cameroon have been knocked out of the AFCON by Morocco. So Mazraoui has done us a favour. He's sending us our top goal scorer back. Thank you, Maz. Thank you. We hope to see you soon as well. But I did predict that Morocco, I think, will go all the way, at least to the final. They've got a very, very good, strong team. They've got players, just exceptional players, way better than I think many teams in the AFCON. Egypt are decent, but I think with Morocco they've got players in all departments, top players in all departments. So yeah, look, this is great news. Great news. We heard from Fletcher earlier on, and he said, look, he's not going to feature in the game against Brighton, even if he does come back. So let's wait and see. Obviously, he's been knocked out just now, so I think he'll be given Saturday off and then maybe return Sunday, Monday to training. I think that would be the most likely thing. He'll return to training on Monday and then we'll take things from there, and hopefully he can feature in the next game that we play. But yeah, good timing, isn't it? It's good timing, I must admit. I mean, it's not good in the terms of Cameroon, but let's be honest, we're all happy that Mbeumo is coming back. Mbeumo had an absolutely awful AFCON. He's gone off the boil. Well, do you know what? He did. I mean, but I don't mind as long as he comes back and performs for United. I don't know. Look, it could be the way the team set up. Cameroon, obviously different, the way they set up and everything. He's not considered he's got a number of players. I don't know what it is. I was looking out for him thinking he's gonna smash it, but he didn't. I'll bench Mbeumo, Lacey left wing, Ahmad right wing, Sesko 9. Well, yeah, there's a risk of that, but I mean, I can't see Mbeumo being benched, to be honest with you. I think Mbeumo will come on. I think Lacey might be an understudy to whoever the left winger is, whoever our number one left winger is. I can see Fletcher slowly integrating Lacey into the team, but I cannot see him starting him anytime soon, even though, let's be honest, he was exciting when we did see him. It was crazy. Hey, Brian, big up Travis. We should write to the Premier League and the FA. Well, you know what? If they had to stop this from happening, they would have done that a long time ago. They would have done it a long time ago. They would have done it when the Glazers were actually knee deep in flipping debt and they just screwed United over big time. And although now they've changed the rules of takeovers and everything else, and now it's kind of illegal to leverage that much debt when you're buying a football club. But unfortunately, they didn't apply it retrospectively, which would have meant that Glazers would have been forced to sell up and leave. Now, make what you want of that, but I just feel like these billionaires control a lot of other factions. They control a lot of things behind the scenes that we fans, don't understand. So they have their fingers in a lot of pies and they know exactly who to approach and make sure that they don't get reprimanded and don't get into trouble about taking over Man United the way they did. Glad to get Mbeumo back. He's fantastic attacking outlet. Yeah, I think, look, we've missed him. I think he's another Bruno Fernandes. I think without him on the pitch, I felt like we've not had the pace. Kuna certainly hasn't got the pace. Sesko's good, but again, he's not a pacey player. Ahmad and Mbeumo have been a massive miss for us. I think some of these games that we drop points in, I think if Mbeumo was playing or Ahmad, we might have had a chance to actually win. Nish says Morocco will win. I think so. If I was a betting man, I would say Morocco to win. It's at home in the backyard. I think they look very good. They've looked consistent. They look like a team that are pumped up, ready to go. They've got their home fans as well. And I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to stop them. I think Egypt might have a chance. There's also Ahmad. You know, he's performing, but can he keep up that performance? I feel like sometimes he's carrying his team, but look, anything can happen. It's crazy. The AFCON is crazy. When it comes to these games, they're unpredictable. They're unpredictable. But I think in recent years, I think they have become fairly predictable. I think there are some games that you can look at and think, right, okay, we know that these are the favourites, but they're close games. You don't actually know what's going on. The favourites do come out on top, but it's not always as clear cut as you might think. Again, today, it wasn't a bad game, but I just felt like, yeah, Morocco deserved to win, and they did enough. And they've got some crazy players. Brahim Diaz as well. I mean, on fire for him. Ahmad is playing so well. Yeah, Ahmad's having a great tournament, man. Ahmad has been sensational. That goal that he scored the other day, man, that was brilliant. Brilliant. Actually, let me see if I've got a clip of it. I'm sure I saved it. I saved the clip of it, man. I think I might have got rid of it. I think I've got rid of it. But it was a brilliant goal. Really, really good goal. So yeah, why is Amrin still in Manchester? Is Amrin still in Manchester? Yeah, he is. He's still in Manchester, man. Amrin's loving it. That's why, man. What can we say about Amrin? Amrin's loving it. He is loving his time in Manchester. That's what it is. Look at him. Yeah. Loving it. Loving it.
Hi, Ruben.
Hi, Ruben. How you doing? Ruben's spending his money. He's become £10 million richer overnight. You know, there's not many people who can say that, can they? You know, I made 10 million by getting the sack. That's just crazy, isn't it? 10 million from getting the sack. Only in football can that happen. Only in football. You know, you do a bad job and you get 10 million as a as a package to leave.
How are you doing?
Sensational. I mean, it's all smiles though. It's all smiles. Look, I don't hold it against him. I don't hold it against him because I also feel like, do you know what? I think he's been through a lot. Man. He's been stressed out. I don't think he was enjoying his time at United. I think in the last couple of months, you could see Ruben changed from that happy face manager that we inherited from Sporting, confident, you know, was promising us the storm, and then he told us the storm's going to go. Storm literally didn't go, you know what I mean? It just doubled. It turned into a tornado by last week, didn't it? It was awful. The football was awful. We weren't doing any better than what we did against Burnley, but at least you can say, well, look, Fletcher's first game, right? I mean, he's going to get used to the players, and he's got a lot of first team players missing. If they come back, I'm thinking if we play a decent formation, we can do something. But I still feel like we're missing them key players in the middle of that pitch. I've been saying it before the bloody season started. I said, we need midfielders. Allow everything else. Allow strikers. We need midfielders. I was screaming about it, but clearly no one takes notice. No one cares. It's like, right, okay, do you know what? Who cares? We'll just, we'll probably stick around for a while. Probably kids in school. Yeah, actually, that makes sense. Yeah, I think he has got younger kids, and yeah, they might be at school. Yeah, you're probably right. Good shout there, Rob. I think he's got kids in school. They've probably just started again. I guess he doesn't want to, you know, get them and move them immediately. They might have settled in and stuff. So I think it could be wait until the summer. And maybe that's why, Niche, you might be right, man. You might be right, Niche. You know, I didn't see it. You've been saying it all that time. And you could be right where you were saying that he might be offered the Man City job. Well, if he sticks around, I think you're right. He's come on time. He's said it again. I'm hearing he's going to City in the summer. That's why he's hanging around. I bet my life he goes to City. If he does, can you imagine the complete meltdown? I mean, not just within the Man United fan base. I think whole of world football. I mean, he's going to go across the city to Man City. That would be awful. I mean, I said to you earlier, I just don't want to see Ruben Amorim in the Premier League. I'll be really happy if he goes back to Sporting or something and we don't hear from him ever again. Because that's the stuff of nightmares. If Ruben Amorim goes to another Premier League club and starts cooking, if he gets the right backing, if he gets the players that he wants, can you imagine if he does go to Man City and they say, right, okay, do you know what do you want? What do you want? And he says, I want this, and they get him that. And he starts just cooking everybody. We are in for a nasty, nasty time. Look, it can happen. I'm not ruling it out, but I just feel like Man City are a lot more thorough. They've got plans in place. They are long-term planners. We've seen that before. They don't have many knee-jerk reactions to things like this. They would have probably sat down already, spoken with Pep. They would have found out whether he's leaving or not. And if he is, they would have already made a shortlist and already got their number one target as manager in their mind. And I just can't see it being Ruben Amorim. I think it would be someone else, someone with more experience. I would not be surprised if it's Enrique. I swear, I think that's probably why Enrique's rejected his contract extension at PSG, unless he's trying to work something else out with them, trying to get some more money out of them. I'm not sure. But if he is rejecting it with the position of moving away in the summer, and Pep, if the rumours are true and Pep is leaving, well, then we've got some bad news out there. That's bad news, man, for the rest of the Premier League. Enrique arriving in the Premier League, playing against Man United, it's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. I hope it doesn't happen. I really do. I really hope it doesn't. Anyway, guys, I'm going to play this video once again. If you missed it, It's hilarious. I've played it at the intro at the start of tonight's stream. I'll play it before I leave, and then I'll be back tomorrow. I will be back tomorrow with an update show, hopefully to confirm that the INEOS have made a decision on, the interim manager job. It's nothing serious, but they're still making it into a complete shit show. Why? Why do we end up with these idiots at our club? Why did they decide, right, let's see, which club could we buy? Oh, let's go and buy Man United. And then we got INEOS to join in the circus. And they came in and said, right, we're gonna come in and help. We're going to come in and help these guys because we're the same. That's what they want. They want to stick us by funding his system. Pep has said it. He's amazing. I'm hearing he's speaking to Pep on a regular basis. Wow, if that's the case, that is crazy. If City get Amrin and rinses, it's the ultimate humiliation. Well, look, man, we are already past that stage, man. We're past that stage, Niche. I swear. We're a laughing stock. We're an absolute laughing stock. In the Premier League, everybody's taking the piss. Everybody laughs at us already. And, well, look, man, we might as well own it right now. We are. We're a laughing stock because of the owners. We're an absolute joke. Absolute joke. Guys, Mark, hope you're doing well, mate. How are you? Cornet should be playing in his first team. Casemiro needs an armchair. Now Breda Wilcox needs P45. Mark, really good point there. Really good point. About 3 weeks ago, I heard Cornet is going to get moved to the first team squad. And I thought, oh, right, okay, this is his chance to actually play in the first team. I got it from a really good bloody source as well. It wasn't someone who doesn't know Man United. It's someone within United who said, look, there's talk about Cornet moving up into the first team. This was under Ruben Amorim, though. And I was like thinking, will it happen? Will it not? Okay. And I was expecting him to actually make the squad a couple of weeks ago when we lost the players. And I was like, okay, I'm going to see. Believe it or not, I was even going to do a show on it saying, oh, right, I've got breaking news. Cornet is going to be moving up to first squad. And then I was like, let me wait and see. And he didn't. And the funny thing is with Cornet, Mark, is that he is exactly the type of player we need. We need legs in the middle of the pitch, and he is a monster. He's a monster. He's young, but he will be sensational. And I just don't get it. I just do not get why there's such a disconnect between the academy right now and the first team. And that's one thing I heard from Fletcher's press conference earlier today that filled me with a lot of confidence. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God we've got someone who's going to do this, who's going to take the academy players and bring them through like he gave Lacey a chance. And what a player we've got on our hands if he starts cooking like that as well. Cornet preseason was a baller, hard knock, but he's better than Casemiro. Yeah, he's got legs on him. He actually moves fast as well. Luke Shaw, Dalot, Mount, even Bruno need P45. Get rid, should have kept Ralph. Well, Mark, Jim will be happy to hear that you've put Bruno in there as well. I'd agree with Shaw, I'd agree with Dalot, and I agree with Mount as well. There's a few others, Casemiro, Ugarte, again, I'd say get rid of them as well. Bruno, I think right now, I'm not quite sure about. I'd look at Bruno and think, oh shit, we need to keep him until we don't get a like-for-like replacement. Or we bring someone from the academy who's good enough or can be good enough to play in that role. But yeah, good point. Ralph, yeah, I mean, we had this discussion the day Ruben Amorim got sacked, and we were all sat here. We were going through the list of ex-managers, and we're like, okay, who would you have kept from this list of managers on a tweet that I did? And we all agreed it was Ralph. Ralph was the standout name. I think closely followed by, I think it was Solskjaer. And then for me, Mourinho also would have done as well. Mourinho was a good manager. He did well for us. I think a lot of people forget how good he actually did and how well he managed the players. The players speak highly of him. While ML, welcome mate, hope you're doing well. While the board needs to go, what happened to Amrin was a disgrace. He midfielder from summer. He needed a midfielder from the summer. Disgrace. They won't back any manager, and types of managers people are talking about won't say yes. You've summed it up. You've summed it. I've just been saying this. I don't know whether you just come on, but that's exactly what I've said. That's exactly what I said. They are looking for managers. They're naming all these managers like Tuchel and Eddie Howe, and they're not going to come. They're not going to come because they're not going to get the backing. They've just seen what we've just done to Ruben Amrin. We've lured him in from a brilliant project at Sporting. He was winning bloody everything. He was sitting on his throne, doing the best any manager had ever done at Sporting. He was building a legacy. He was going to become an icon of the club. He was going to be a Fergie of Sporting, right? And we dragged him away saying, no, just come and join us. We're going to give you everything you need. But when he got here, the curtain fell and, well, it revealed Jim Ratcliffe sat behind it, counting the pennies. That's what happened. That's what happened. And they've never backed him. And whatever you think of Ruben Amrin's win record, he didn't get the backing. He didn't get the backing. And you know, if you've been watching me, I'm not a big fan of Ruben Amrin, but I'd also argue for him when it comes to not getting the backing. This is the beginning of INEOS's downfall. Please be right. Please be right, ML. I hope you've prophesied something there that we can all see in the near future, because I'm telling you, this is getting hard to handle for me. It's getting hard to handle. I'm watching this and I'm thinking, nothing's changing. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I mean, it's not even getting slightly better. I mean, you cannot even argue that we've improved, even slightly, with the leadership of INEOS. I feel like we've gone backwards. I look at this team and I think, shit, we've got nothing. We've got nothing under INEOS. Amrin loaned out corner. Enough said. Ralph also got the sack for his comments. Lol. Glazers don't like the truth. Glazers don't like anybody calling them out. Anybody. Ten Hag sold Iqbal, another player with talent, for 500 grand. Joke decisions. Ten Hag, I think, was probably the worst manager when it came to making decisions like that. I mean, what about Alvarez? You know, the left back we've got Fernandez, the left back who's playing for Real Madrid right now, right? Like, we let him go as well. We let him go. We've let Iqbal go. We've let I saw Hannibal as well. I mean, I think it was under Ten Hag's reign. We let go of Hannibal as well? He looked bloody brilliant in Burnley's team. I was like, flipping heck, we could do with someone like that right now. He was really difficult to get off the ball. And I was like, shit, this guy's actually cooking. He's cooking. And he's an ex-Man United academy player. So we've got lots of problems where we think that, look, we are moving in maybe in the right direction, but every time we take one step forward under INEOS and the Glazers, we take 3 steps back. That's unfortunately what is happening. And we cannot improve with these owners. I don't care what anybody says. I know it's really difficult. It's really difficult to understand that for many, many people, because they haven't got the power to change the ownership. But in reality, nothing will ever change until the owners are not kicked out. I know Greenwood is a hot potato, but he's going to be worth £200 million one day. Go figure. I think that's a bit too much, Mark. No way, 200 mil. I think he's good. I can't see him being worth that much. We'll have to see. I mean, Rashford, we got some breaking news on Rashford. I understand that Barcelona are going to activate the clause to buy him. That's what I've heard. I need to get on top of that. I need to just confirm that. But them are the rumours coming out, reports coming out, early reports. I need to just confirm that, and I'll bring it to you tomorrow if I get some more solid news on that. But I'm hearing noises that Rashford is going to get his buyout clause is going to get triggered by Barca. I did warn you, didn't I? I did say, look, the moment there's a chance of Rashford coming back to United, Barca are going to shit it, and they're going to have to either put their money down and buy him, or he's going to immediately come back to United, knowing full well that maybe Carrick or Ollie is at the wheel. right? He's going to come back. He's going to come back. Or there's a chance of him coming back. If Ollie opens up his arms and says, come back, son, come back. I'm in charge now. I can see that happening. I can see Rashford coming back. But I think Barcelona are too clever. They know what's happening. They've seen that, and they're like, okay, we need him back. Rashi's so good. Barca are getting a bargain. They still, yeah, even 30 mil. I've heard it's 30 mil. That's a bargain. That's a bargain. He has seen the state of Nice Football Club, and they are 14th in the French league, and we are going nowhere with INEOS. Yeah, I've said it so much times. ML, you're dropping some facts here, by the way. You're dropping facts here. The reason why I'm saying that is because I've said all these things, so I agree with you, because you're saying exactly what I've been saying for some time. So I like hearing it from other people, though, because I feel like sometimes I'm fighting a lonely battle here. I feel like I'm the only one who's shouting and screaming about these things. Why does no one call out INEOS for what they've done at Nice? Why does no one see what they've done at Nice? Where have they taken Nice? They've owned 100% of Nice. They're in full control of Nice. They're not 25 or bit part owners or 27 or whatever percent it is right now. They have got full control of Nice, and look what they've done to that club. And you'd argue that that's an easier league. There's literally two or three teams that you compete against. You don't need to invest much. You don't need to do much to get up in League One. You know, the Premier League is a different bloody kettle of fish. If they can't succeed in League One, what is the chance of them succeeding at United? Zero chance. I just can't understand how no one calls that out. No one calls it out. INEOS jumping into a Ferrari with United after driving a Kia Rio. They don't have a clue out. They don't have a clue out of their depth. Look at Nice. Yep. Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you. I mean, I'm liking these comments, by the way, guys. I'm liking this chat tonight. I'm finally getting to hear what I've been crying about. I've been crying about this, saying, look, why have we accepted INEOS as good owners when their CV is absolutely shit? It's shit. You know, it cries out failure. Everything they've touched has failed. Everything they've touched has collapsed. Yet, why do we give them any credence? Why do we trust in them? I'm telling you guys, do not trust INEOS. Do not trust them. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I really did. When they first came on, I did initially react thinking, shit, this is bad news, and why have they done this, blah, blah, blah. But then I got backlash from fans. I remember when it first was announced, and I was on Twitter, and I remember speaking to a few fans, and they were like, oh, no, you know, you're being negative. You're being negative about INEOS. They're really good. Jim Ratcliffe's a Man United fan. And I'm thinking, so what? I know. The Man United fan who was going to buy Chelsea just 3 months before. You mean that Man United fan? You mean the Man United fan that made an offer to buy Chelsea 3 months before he turned round and then decided to buy Man United? Oh, and the reason why he couldn't get Chelsea is not because he pulled out or anything. It was because Chelsea refused his bid because it was out of time. That's why. That's why he couldn't get Chelsea. Oh, I do wish he would have bought Chelsea. Seriously. And we would have been away from the Glazers, because it was clear that the Glazers were going to collapse. They were out of money until Jim Ratcliffe came riding in his Kia Rio. Right? Bloody jokes. Absolute jokes, man. And then what? He wants us to believe anything that comes out of his mouth when he turns around and says the Glazers are lovely people and they've done really well, and, you know, the fans have got them wrong. Like, shut up, will you? Shut up. I don't want us to beat Brighton, City or Arsenal, because it will give INEOS the license to kill. Yeah, it's a good point, that. Good point. I mean, they're under pressure right now. They are under pressure. You saw the faces of Barada and Wilcox against Burnley, and when Burnley scored that first goal, they were shitting it. I mean, they were looking around thinking, shit, how are we going to get out of this how are we going to get out of this stadium tonight, right? Even though there was only a few away fans, there wasn't thousands, but even then, I think they were panicking. They were thinking, shit, we're going to get ridiculed. And the camera kept on panning on them, and I was just laughing, thinking, shit, they looked terrified. ML, I always want us to win. I understand what you're saying, but you always want to United to win, no exception. Yeah, look, that's what it is. I think you want United to win, but you understand what ML is saying, because what he's saying is, we're going to Morocco, mixed emotions. Yeah, Morocco have won Cameroon. I don't know why I'm getting the news now, but I understand what you mean by it as well. INEOS, the only way INEOS are going to leave is if the fans get on their back. The only way the fans will get on their back is if things aren't going right. The reality is that INEOS could be running a complete shit show behind the scenes, but if everything's fine on the pitch, fans will completely forget about what's going on behind the scenes. Just like we did with Ruben Amorim. When Ruben Amorim came, they've had 14 months of bliss. The Glazers and INEOS, they've had 14 months of absolute bliss. No one's complained about them. No one's pointed any fingers at the ownership. And now everyone's back up to it again. It's gone from 0 to 100. Boom, straight away. It's gone straight from, oh, yeah, look, do you know what? It's gone from, it's gone crazy. It's gone crazy once again, and I like it. Jim, as much as a Man United fan as David Cameron is a Villa fan, plastic spotters, what's this David Cameron about? But yeah, I mean, look, look, we know who's an actual Man United fan, and we know those who are not. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with the clip I played earlier today, and actually I played it just before, and I just can't get enough of it. I just can't get enough of it, guys. I love it. I love watching it. I'm just hooked on this. I love it so much, and I'm going to leave you with it, and enjoy it with me one more time, guys. One more time. You'll love it. If it's the first time